Daniel Harrison had everything money could buy. At just 42 years old, he owned a technology empire worth hundreds of millions of dollars, lived in a breathtaking mansion overlooking the city, and had a reputation as one of the most successful businessmen in the country. Yet, despite all his success, there was one thing Daniel valued more than his fortune: his 5-year-old daughter, Lily. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years earlier, Lily had become his entire world. He worked tirelessly to provide for her, but deep down, he constantly worried that he wasn't spending enough time with her. Because of his demanding schedule, Daniel had hired countless nannies over the years. Some were careless, others were dishonest, and a few only stayed long enough to collect a paycheck. After several disappointing experiences, Daniel became extremely cautious about trusting anyone around his daughter. Then, 6 months earlier, a young woman named Emma arrived. Unlike the others, Emma was kind, patient, and genuinely cared about Lily. She never complained, never asked for anything extra, and somehow managed to bring laughter back into the mansion. Lily adored her. Still, Daniel's past experiences made it difficult for him to trust completely. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, Daniel finished an important business meeting hours earlier than expected. Thinking it would be a pleasant surprise, he decided to return home without informing anyone. As his luxury car rolled through the mansion gates, he smiled at the thought of spending unexpected time with Lily. Maybe they could have dinner together. Maybe he could finally hear about the story she always wanted to tell him. But as he entered the house, something immediately felt unusual. The mansion was strangely quiet. He expected to hear cartoons playing or Lily's cheerful voice echoing through the halls. Instead, silence greeted him. Daniel frowned and began walking toward the living room. Then he heard something: soft music, laughter, and what sounded like cheering. Confused, he followed the sounds toward the back of the house. The closer he got, the more nervous he became. What was happening? Had Emma invited people over? Was someone taking advantage of his absence? His heart began beating faster. He stepped onto the patio and looked toward the enormous backyard. What he saw nearly made him faint. There, in the middle of the lawn, stood dozens of children. They were laughing, playing games, and running through colorful decorations. Tables were filled with homemade snacks and bright balloons danced in the breeze. For a moment, Daniel thought he had entered the wrong property. Then he spotted Lily. She stood in the center of it all, smiling wider than he had seen in years. Tears instantly filled his eyes. Yet the sight that truly shocked him was Emma. She was running around in a silly costume, pretending to be a pirate while children chased her across the grass. The elegant, reserved nanny he knew had transformed into the star of a magical adventure. Daniel stood frozen. Then he noticed something else. Every child present appeared to come from struggling families. Their clothes were simple. Some looked shy and uncertain. Yet every one of them was smiling. Curious, Daniel moved closer without revealing himself. He overheard conversations. One little boy excitedly told another child that this was the first birthday party he had ever attended. A young girl explained she had never tasted cake before. Daniel felt his chest tighten. What exactly was going on? Just then, Emma gathered the children together. "Today isn't about money," she said. "It's about making sure every child feels special, loved, and important." The children cheered. Lily stepped forward and hugged Emma tightly. "This is the best day ever," she said. Daniel couldn't believe what he was hearing. Finally, he revealed himself. The moment Emma saw him, her face turned pale. The laughter stopped. The children grew quiet. Emma looked terrified. "Mr. Harrison," she whispered. "I can explain." Daniel slowly walked toward her. His expression was unreadable. Emma's hands trembled. She expected to be fired immediately. After all, she had organized an event on his property without permission. She had invited strangers into his home. She had crossed boundaries. But before she could speak again, Daniel asked a simple question. "Why?" Emma swallowed hard. "A few weeks ago, Lily told me she wished every child could have a birthday party. She said it wasn't fair that some children never get to celebrate. So, I contacted local shelters and community centers. I used my own savings to buy decorations and food. Lily helped plan everything. I thought maybe we could give these children one unforgettable day." Tears appeared in Emma's eyes. "If you're angry, I understand. I'll leave immediately." Daniel looked around again. He saw joy. He saw kindness. He saw children experiencing happiness they might remember forever. Then he looked at Lily. His daughter wasn't staring at expensive toys or luxury gifts. She was helping younger children play games and sharing slices of cake. For the first time in years, she looked truly alive. Daniel suddenly realized something painful. While he had spent years building a business empire, Emma had spent 6 months teaching his daughter compassion, generosity, and love. The things money could never buy. His eyes filled with tears. To everyone's surprise, Daniel smiled. Then he began applauding. The entire yard fell silent. Emma stared in disbelief. "This," Daniel said, his voice shaking with emotion, "is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen." Emma's eyes widened. Daniel continued, "I thought I was giving my daughter everything she needed. But today I learned you've given her something far greater." He turned toward the children. "And from now on, this won't be a one-time event." The children gasped. Daniel announced that he would create a foundation to help disadvantaged children celebrate birthdays, attend school programs, and receive support. Cheers erupted across the lawn. Lily ran into her father's arms. "Are you happy, Daddy?" she asked. Daniel hugged her tightly. "I've never been happier." As the sun began setting, the mansion transformed into a place filled with laughter, hope, and love. Daniel understood that true wealth wasn't measured by bank accounts or luxury homes. It was measured by the lives you touched and the kindness you shared. And the woman he had nearly fired had taught him the most valuable lesson of all. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Every subscription helps bring more emotional and inspiring stories to viewers around the world.